Hey, 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 guess who's back? Some schmuck. That is me. So, how you been? Good afternoon or late afternoon, wherever you are. Yeah, I'm finally back from the trip. Though actually, I did do live streams just on Instagram. I did two. First one as like a very brief short run, and the second one being an actual live stream with like a haul of these guys or Sanrio and stuff. And then I was rambling on about the trip so far on the balcony, and it sounds all fancy and luxurious. No, it's not. It's just a very high floor with a really nice background, or I'm not background, really nice scenic view. And it's kind of weird. I'm not afraid of heights, but I do get uncomfortable when it comes to looking down after a certain height. Maybe because I'm a short person, but yeah, as long as I don't look down, I'm good to go. So yeah, what I have here, this is yet another blank sketch book, or I don't know what they call it in Japanese. Oh, that's just your name. And then there's no lines, there's nothing. So you can start doing whatever you want. And it's backwards, so it's Japanese. So you start from this side. Whereas here, it's like, why is it backwards? And people left already. And by people, I meant person. So I'll live with that. So before I get on to drawing something, I figured I'd do a tiny-ish haul. And I'm going to be a little bit haphazard here because I already put things away. And so I might go back and forth depending on how much stuff I put away. Maybe. We'll see. So for starters, I already shown this. And yeah, I got this from the physical Sanrio store. Fun fact, I think almost all the Sanrio stores where I'm at, they all closed down since 2002. And it just went on and on and on from there. Because I know we had at least about 4 or 5 Sanrio stores, or they had like a small section, and then they just closed it down entirely. What the fuck? They're like, oh, you're old. Well, why do you care? It's like, because a lot of the prices now for these things, they're adult people money. It's not kids people money. It's adult people money. They latched onto us. They latched onto this fringe group that still clung on to Sanrio, and they banked on us, and they did it right, and they did it really annoyingly so, because look at me, I'm buying this crap. So, but not as bad as some other people. Oh my gosh. I do draw the line at some point, but stationaries and cute little, selectively cute plushes, okay, fine. But other than that, I have to draw the line, because if I have to pick every single Sanrio thing, I'm going to be bankrupt. So I try to restrain myself from just haphazardly buying all the things, because it just has Hello Kitty's face plastered. And I think what also helps is I don't like Hello Kitty that much. Only like maybe when I was little and I liked her very briefly, then I would consider, okay, nostalgic purposes, I will buy that. But then I compromise by looking into other characters and brands like Sanex with Sentimental Circus. This is their stationery. Very pastel, looks very watercolor. I love the style, so I tend to cop some of their other work, but just for fun. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? I don't know why people are so gung-ho about, like, you need to come up with an original style. Like, no, you don't, okay? We all got things to do, a lot of things. You know how hard it is to come up with an original idea in this day and age? It's freaking hard. Why do you think there's all these stupid recycled movies? They're afraid of trying something different, but that doesn't mean it does not exist and it's impossible to make original ideas. But just goes to show it's not easy, okay? But that doesn't mean it cannot be done. But you also have to protect your original idea, because it's so hard with social media all over the place. So if you put it out in the open, just be careful. That's all I can say. Just be careful when you put something originally from your own mind out into the void, and you don't expect all good things will happen, okay? Just bear that in mind, okay? So yeah, anyway, what does that have to do with Sentimental Circus? I just love their scheme, their colors, their little character story backgrounds. They have a story background, and they're quite intricate. And I was like, what? Okay. If you want to know, just check on Google about Sentimental Circus. It's kind of sad. So I guess Sentimental does suit their brand. So, okay. But yeah, I'm debating whether or not I'll actually use this. This is too pretty for me to use. Yeah, it's one of those things. I also got this magnet at the airport. I didn't realize part of the coating was peeled off. Some schmuck peeled off the coating. If you can kind of see right there, like who the hell did that? So I think this gives me an excuse to paint over this. But I'm kind of, I'm thinking, because I feel bad having to paint over the details because I am the sucker for details. But then because of this stupid flub up that I oversaw, I did not look that, like, yeah, you can see that, like, what the hell? So I'm thinking maybe or maybe not. Should I paint on this? If you want to let me know, feel free to let me know in the comments or even on Instagram. Feel free to let me know. I would like to paint this, but I have mixed feelings because yes, it's quite detailed and I do have a soft spot for detailed work and wood carvings. I also got this, I think at the zoo. They have these crochet little critters. I think it's some sort of donation sort of thing, and it's a little pricey, but $7.99. I'll let it slide. Plus, I don't know how to make this stuff to save my life, so I thought this was really cute. They have different colors, but I stuck to this because pastel is I'm a slave to pastel. And so I bought a few more, but I stored them. Oh, I have some here. Okay, so I have this one. Not a lot. I only bought another one because they do get kind of pricey. And I like this stingray just because it has a little smile. Look at the little smile. Oh, it's so cute. And I like this plush version of this yarn. It does give it more like a plush doll quality than like the really stiff. Like this one I also got from the same local store they had. Yeah, this is another kind that they use on friendship bracelets and some keychains, as well as some more elaborate, more detailed plushies to some degree. And while it looks a lot nice detail-wise, when it comes to texture, it's quite stiff. Even this is a little bit stiff. So yeah, I still like this because, again, I can't crochet to save my freaking life. So I will support that if it's really good and it doesn't look, it's going to unravel within a week. So yeah, so this was very cute. Oh, I like the little smile. And this was very cute too. I'm going to put these guys away here. And then, did I get anything in here? No, I did not. So, other stuff, just basic pens. Yeah, I actually use them, so it's fine. What else did I have a whole bunch. It's just, I store them away just because I did not want to trample on things and trip and fall and I end up in the hospital. All that's precautionary stuff. Then I got this small backpack. It seems a little flimsy with the strap quality, but I was a sucker. I thought it was pretty. And so, yeah, it's a mini backpack. And do I have anything in here? I think that'll be the last haul, I swear. Yeah, they have these at the ABC stores, like this stuff. I do like pouches. I'm debating whether or not I give these away to some of my like nieces or nephews. I think nieces more so would be more interested in this sort of stuff. I don't know. I hope they don't see this because this counts as their gift. This one I cannot give away because I already used it, but it's still good. But yeah, I thought this was really pretty, but also a little small. But if you don't carry a lot of things, this is definitely for you, but for me, I tend to bring a lot of things, so I think this size is more preferable for me. But if I just go down to like buy something like a snack, then this is totally fine. So yeah, there is that. And I think that'll be it for my, like I said, itty bitty haul. I actually bought a lot more, and you're not missing much, okay? Okay, so what am I drawing? So I will draw this guy here. I saw this on the Pinterest as per usual. And, people, I've been seeing a lot of, not a lot, but like an increasing amount of, I don't know which artists are saying this or whoever, what do you call them? Gatekeepers of you shall not use references. Real, true artists go by memory alone. And I'm like, those are freaking prodigies. That's not the norm. It's okay to use references. Professionals themselves say they use references. So whoever is spewing all this random ass stuff in the corners of their basements, they need to, they can say whatever you want. Just do what you can that helps you out the best way possible, okay? As long as it's not super, super cheating, okay? It should be fine. All right. It's a learning process. You've got to deal with learning process to improve. Damn it. Okay, so how do I hold this down? Because I usually leave this blank so it doesn't get smudged onto the other side of the cover. the hell do I use? What the hell do I... Can I borrow you, sir? Sorry, excuse my big arm. I think that's okay. All right, so... Oh, and I think if I do have time, I can show some card progress. I did say I barely did art while I was on vacation, but I did some on the plane ride. I also try my damnedest to not sound like I'm bragging about the travels that I travel to. And no, I don't know. I sound like a butthole, okay? I know, okay? But I did do some work, a little bit, the barest of bare minimum by my standards. But I did something, okay? It just involved a plane. All right, shut up. Let's get this over with. Okie dokie. So I rarely draw on this. Okay, so this guy is like wobbly. Can I make this stand properly? This is kind of okay. Probably. I don't know. I don't have anything heavy. Does this count as heavy? Ah, okay. Maybe. You should be fine. And let's focus, camera. Please. Thank you. Okay. All right. Come on. Okay, so I haven't drawn on this regular scale in the longest time ever, and I'm also at an angle. I know, like, you have like the layouts, sort of the raised desk thing that artists use. I don't have that right now. Just because I haven't used it for X amount of years, so I've been stalling. I know I should use it. It's good for my eyes and positioning of the drawing, because if you draw it in this angle where it looks like it's flat like this, then it kind of messes up your depth of perception. I can raise it up, actually, which I was doing before. What can I borrow? Can I borrow you? All right, I'll borrow you. A little bit, anyway. Okay. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, sir. Why did you fall down? Oh, I still find this somewhat offensive. I feel bad. Let's not imagine too hard, but I'm sorry. I just need to borrow you to hold still. I'm sorry. Okay. Now, camera, let's focus, please. Okay, so... Sorry. As I mentioned before, I did not know how to explain how I draw, because a lot of, even I see on threads, are like, I don't know how to explain how I draw. I just do it. And I'm like, while I hate how that is the explanation that we go for, that is the explanation we go for. And I'm one of those people. So I want to explain how I do the things that I do. And the best way I could say to that, and this is only in terms of using a reference, I treat it like a puzzle. There, that's it. Okay, I mentioned this before. I treat it like a puzzle, and it has to make the most sense. But in terms of like fantasy and things that are not really biological, they are not the biological norm, then it's like, oh, I hope that makes sense. So you kind of have some creative liberties to do what you want in that aspect. But then in terms of like, the human anatomy, plants, animals, landscapes, then you kind of have to, okay, does this make sense or not? But that's where art can be more fun in that department, where you can just, let's say, what if the sky was pink? Let's go from there. And then, and then you have to consider the color wheel. But sometimes you don't have to go super technical about such things. Like you're not in an art class, right? You can do whatever the hell you want. And some people don't like that. They get terrified of the unknown and like, this won't make sense. What if I do this and people make fun of me and overly criticize me and berate me and insult? Like, you can just not post it and just do it on your own, or just share it amongst your friends. That's fine. And people may say like, oh, well, that might be considered an echo chamber. It's like, why do people shut up, just draw, stupid. I feel like people just have to make something out of nothing. Just do what you like right now, as long as you're not harming others and yourself and the environment. Okay, just chill the fuck out. Okay. I just feel like we are way too harsh on ourselves, especially with the scrutiny of the social medias looming over us, and it's so fucking stressful. Sometimes you have to kind of shut that part down. I mean, it's easy to say, "Oh, just turn off the internet." No, like look at me now. I'm doing this on live stream, but I rarely get comments, but the rare times I do, I have to not take it at face value, but to see, I have to know that person first, surface level. Like, who is this person? Should I allow them to give me the criticism that they're telling me, or I need to see their track record. So I will look on your profile if you give me some kind of criticism, if you have a profile, or I would see like your social media sort of stuff, just to get an idea, like, who are you and who are you to give me criticism, but not in like I am better than you sort of thing. It's more like I need to know who you are a little bit for you to give me that kind of criticism. Do you get what I mean? Because if it's one, like, if you give criticism and you don't make art yourself, I'm like, who the fuck? Who are you? Okay, that's what I mean. Okay. Anyway, let's see. Anything I can talk about that? I don't want to get into art stuff, because the more I talk about art stuff, it just gets more and more negative, and I want more positive things. And it's a lot harder nowadays with social media in the forefront. They like to emphasize the negative and the doom and gloom and the dystopia of social media. And I'm like, ugh, I don't care. And yes, I'm not going to be super specific. I just want to chill out a bit, try to see if I can do this or not. And there's a fruit fly trying to get at my fruit. I have fruit off camera and it wants a piece, and I'm like, get away from me. Maybe I should close it so it will stop being a jerk. Stop trying to hover near me and be in the spotlight. But can I have a watermelon? So I was eating watermelon. I didn't want to talk with my mouth full of melon. That doesn't sound right, but it's actual fruit, okay? Okay, so what can I talk about that isn't depressing about art things? Oh, I did decide that I will do some war art, but it's not related to the Korean War. I think just war in general, but I also want to pick more like heroes. I don't know about villains. That's to be debated. But like for sure, like the unsung heroes that people don't even hear about, or you see in the history books. In particular, Filipino women that participated in war, which is so freaking badass. I never heard a damn thing growing up about Filipino women partaking in any war. You know what I've heard? Really backward ass stereotypes. I think you can tell by just looking on YouTube alone, if not social media. And it's so, oh my God, it's so depressing. And I have a son who's half Filipino, okay? And so I don't want to, he wants to learn more about his Filipino side. And then he does a internet research, and that's all he gets, all this negative backward ass crap that people are still spewing in this day and age. And it's like, ugh. So I also want to try to get some good out of my heritage, besides all this gunk and trash I see. There are some good things, but they're kind of hard to find. You have to like actively keep looking and sifting through things. It's such a hassle just looking about things about your own background. It's annoying, and I feel like some people don't understand that because they already have stuff available to them. Whereas with my own family, it's not as easy, even though I do have a whole load of family members on both parents' side. It's insane. And so yeah, I would like to do something like that in the near future. So hopefully sometime this year. I'm not going to do a set schedule because I will fail at that. So sometime within this year, I will start doing some element of war art. All right. But it's not related to the Korean War. All right. Good. Okay. If I do, though, I'll probably let you know. I already did start on that. I did try coloring that sniper, that Chinese sniper, but it was not turning out well, unfortunately. I should have done a test run with a scanned picture and then did an actual, but I didn't do that this time around. I'm sorry. Okay, so I think mouth. Also, you don't always have to follow through with the original reference. You can add whatever the heck you want. And this is just for fun. It's okay to have fun with things you find on the internet that isn't unsavory, okay? So yeah, I just want to try to see what I can do with this stuff. I'll probably be lazy and just adhere to most of it, but then throw in some random things here and there. I don't know. I've yet to decide yet. Because I just want the general outline and very brief shading just to figure out where everything goes in place. And I made this a little lower, but that's fine. Okay, so what else was I going to talk about? I did write a list before I went on here, and I'm sorry if I hit the camera. Let's see. I did the haul. I did the drawings. Okay, yeah. I did the war art announcement. Okie dokie. All right, and so I guess I can talk about my trip because I might as well. It was good. Pretty good. Instead of a week, it was 2 weeks, which is rare in itself. I didn't get food poisoning. I had mild discomfort, but compared to past trips or past experiences where it was a lot worse, this was pretty manageable. Not the greatest, but still manageable. So I also did not go to a fishing trip. I am happy. I don't do well on boats. Once upon a time when I was 18, I was fine. And 18 and under, I was fine. But then at some point, I don't do well on boats, especially on a windy day, or they say it's a good day and it's super, super erratic on the waters, and I don't feel good, and so I don't want to. God, yeah, it was. I can't do boats. It sucks. I will let like sometimes they show in cartoons when they like the characters are going on a boat trip, and there's always that one or two stragglers that are like puking their guts out over the boat. While that is not me, I do get ridiculously dizzy, and I can't move. I have to hold still because the waters are so rough and it's not fun at all for me. And I am trying my darndest to not be amongst those puking off the side of the boat, especially if there's wind involved and you get smacked in the face with said vomit. You don't need that in your memory banks, now do you? So yeah, I had like half the day to myself. All I did was go shopping, try a cookie shop, and then I went swimming and tried out like a waterproof bag because I did not want to leave my important things by myself on the like on the beach, because I did hear some people had their stuff stolen. So my paranoid self went out and bought a bag that's waterproof to protect those important things like my cell phone and cards and all that stuff, and it worked. And yet because my phone is a freaking tank, as you can see here, look at this massive block, I was a little concerned that it would not fit, but that was the only size they had of size available at the store. And I was asking the clerk, like, do you have another size? Like, oh, I'm sorry, that's all we have. And they had another size, but it was smaller than the phone case. I was like, I just bit the bullet and accepted that if it sucks, I have to return it. But it worked. It worked well. It kept my phone and things dry. So it was great. there was a bit of hiking, but then as soon as you enter underneath the bridge and you're in like near the center of the crater, they start charging you. It's not that bad. It's like $15 and maybe like $7 for children. And yet, I think we were just stingy that day, and it was also extra hot. And I also don't like hiking. Okay, if you like hiking, that's good for you. Okay, you're better than me. You're probably healthier than me. I accept that. I don't like hiking. Okay, you can go hike to your heart's content. Just don't involve me. Okay. And so, but I did take a lot of pictures despite my complaints. Yes, I complain. Okay. At least I admit it. All right. And then while I do complain, I still take pictures. So while I'm complaining, like, oh my God, why is it so hot? Click. So it's kind of like that. But at least it was not a total waste of time. Okay, so what's going on here? I'm trying to figure out what is this? Some weird lumpity lumps over here. There's some other lumpity lumps here. There's a lot of shading and details here that are super not specific, so it's going to be a little bit challenging for me, but what else is new? Oh, this guy has ears, obviously. La 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 la. 26 minutes. I'm going to I always try to do this within an hour. I've seen some arts live streams that take like over 3 hours. They show the entire process. I admire that, but I can't do that. Okay. I don't have enough that kind of time on my end. Okay. So within an hour is my best. Within or a bit after an hour is my best amount of time I can contribute, because I got other stuff to do and I'm also still tired. So yeah, at least I did laundry yesterday. So that was something, I guess. Okay, so is that correct? Okay, this is a little low, but I will try to. Okay, it's around here, I guess. The depth of perspective is pretty bad. Okay, so other things in Hawaii. I was surprised. There was some days that I was surprisingly cold. I think not just because I was in the bus, but because there was a lot of wind and not too much rain, but there was a lot of clouds. So for some reason, when the sun is super exposed, like if there's no clouds in sight, it's super, super freaking hot. But then when there's overcast and the clouds cover the sun, it gets really cold. And this happens anytime. And you can be like in like swimming or walking and what happened? And it's cold all of a sudden. But then when the sun comes out again, then you're roasting like a rotisserie chicken. So I was a little bit, I was there before like 2 times prior, but then how I was easily cold, and it freaks me out because I was already better, but I also don't want to catch yet another cold. So I was trying my best to not be too exposed with, just dresses or sleeveless tops and stuff. So I would actually wear a freaking hoodie. And it did save me a lot of trouble, especially around nighttime when it does get a little bit cooler. So yeah, it was interesting to notice the weather a bit more. And I don't know, it sounds hella boring. Like, oh, why are you talking about weather? Old people talk about weather, but weather dictates what we wear and what we eat sometimes to some degree. So you kind of can't help but talk about weather, And, oh my God, what is this? What's going on here? This looks bad. It's getting there, but not quite. It will not be like the original, no doubt about that. Oh, he has some wrinkles on his brow. It's not going to be accurate. I just want to throw things in there. Is that his hair? Oh, it's his hair. Okay. He has some nice hair. It's not, you know what? Let's not make it nice. Let's make it a little kind of scraggly, because I think that gives it more character. Like messy hair, I feel like gives more character. Oh, and oddly enough, I don't remember the past times I went to Hawaii that I would just be up and alert. But I think because I was waking up early to get my kid ready for school, it kind of latched onto me when I went over to Hawaii, because I was able to wake up. Well, I think it's 4 hours behind where they're at. So from compared to here. So when I went over there, I was up at like 5 in the morning, sometimes 4 in the morning. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And so what I ended up doing, because it was hard for me to go to sleep, I would go outside on the balcony and take pictures. So I had like a buttload of pictures of dawn and the sun just about to come out, or it's like the sunlight is peeking out of like a big puff of clouds. It looks really amazing. So I may or may not make shorts or reels for that, but I don't know how to do that yet and make it look good, because I'm not very good at doing scenic things that involve real life. I'm not very good at that. Not in the slightest. It's okay, I guess. Okay. Let's see. And the funny thing is, we had a TV in our room, but for some reason we couldn't figure out too much after I turned it off, like how to turn it back on. But I think my husband did. But then for some reason, I was not that interested in TV. I was just looking on my phone most of the time. I was watching YouTube or going on Reels or Shorts a little bit. And then I did not turn the TV on most of the time throughout most of the 2 weeks. I don't really watch TV that much anymore. Not even Hulu, Netflix, all that other stuff. I mean, if it's available, like if I visit a house and I'm like, oh, do you want to watch something on Netflix? I go, oh, okay, yeah, sure. But then, I wouldn't be like, I'll never watch anything on Netflix. I'm like, ew, who the hell's that? If it's there, it's there. If it's not, it's not. It's not that big of a deal for me. But most of the time I watch on YouTube or whatever old movies I managed to save when I lived in China and all that stuff. So I have a lot. So I'm not super like, oh, if I don't have any visual entertainment, movies, TV shows, whatever, I'll die. I can't do that. I don't feel the need to be like that. Especially when I can easily distract myself with drawing and art things and projects and looking at stuff online. It's not that bad. But at the same time, I do know people who all they do is watch things on Netflix. All they do is watch things on, movies and TV shows. And I'm just. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just I don't see myself sitting, unless it's a show I really like. But there were instances where I would try to watch TV shows with my husband, and then something stupid happens in the show, or the show just starts going downhill at some point, and then I don't want to watch it anymore. That has happened a lot in recent TV series, so I stopped watching them altogether. Or the show just gets really long. I remembered one of the shows we were trying to watch was Supernatural, and it was pretty okay. And then I think we stopped around season 3. So I was like, oh, okay. And I think another one we watched was, I think, Prison Break. That was a long ass time ago. And then it was interesting. And then I think they brought the show back, but for some reason we did not continue watching it. I don't know what happened. I think we just got tired or bored. And I was also working back then, so it was like really hectic for me to just want to sit down when I have to do lesson plans for the next day or some crap, or I have to do some kind of art related blah blah blahs for the weekend. Ugh, I don't miss that time at all. Super stressful as balls. Okay, so something is coming together. It is 34 minutes. This is what I have only, unfortunately. It could be a lot worse. I could just be stuck on the eyeball. Okay, so let's try to fill up at least all the way down here. Get something more official, but no promises. Okay, so kind of like this. And then, yeah, this is how I draw. I don't know, like, oh, you gotta draw nice. No, I'm super sketchy with this stuff. I used to have a friend, and she would call me Sketchy. Initially, I thought it was a cool name. This was me in high school when she was calling me that name. But then as we got older and turned into our 20s, she was still calling me that name. And she would call me that name when we were still working at retail at a law school bookstore. She would still call me that in front of our coworkers. And around there, I was like, you know what, maybe you shouldn't call me that. But no, it got to the point where even my like higher ups, like my managers, were calling me Sketchy. And I was like, oh, how dare you? You know, I don't want to be called that. Thankfully, it stopped. Thankfully, I never had that name get stuck to me. This wasn't the reason. I drew a lot better when I was younger, funny enough. I think I drew a lot better back then. Now it's just like, as long as I have the general outline, and there's a whole bunch of squiggly lines, I don't give a shit. As long as I know what's there, it's fine. I don't have to be like, I need to have perfect pencil art. I don't have the time or the patience for that at this point in my life, and I don't mind. But some parts are kind of off already, and I still have chance. I still have a grace period when there's pencils involved, so it should be fine. In theory. Okay, so okay. This is kind of like this. There's a huge shadowy gap here, but we don't have to think too hard right now. Okay, this looks like a wiener, but it's not, I swear, it's a tongue. I think, I don't know. It's a tendrily tongue thing. I don't know what's going on here. See, this is the downside of drawing too big. I don't have enough room. But the good thing is I don't have to draw everything, so that's not too bad. And yes, there's going to be background noise because it's the weekend, so my family's here, all right? Just so you know. I already told them to be quiet. They didn't listen to me. Okay, so here. Okay, there's here. Okay, and then the gap ends here. All right, so this becomes its own separate entity of some sort, or another extra tongue, I guess. And I think there's a growth here. And then it starts twirling around. I have no idea what's going on in this creative process, but maybe I can tweak some things and just have the general outline. I think that is my best bet. Okay, so the other thing here, I think it's its own separate thing, and it's like curling onto here. You can barely tell from the reference. And there's some random growth and blobs near the base of the tongue. I guess that makes sense. So, okay, and then he has some hunched over shoulders. Excuse me. Okay. Okay, so here. Oh, there's another thingy. Okay. So the reference I have, I got from Pinterest. I think this was taken from ArtStation. Usually this kind of reference of these 3D models, they tend to be from ArtStation, and there's so much professional, amazing work out there. I can only do so much. This is just for practice to see how far I can go with just drawing and hopefully inking and coloring, depending on how interested I am. And that's basically it. I think a lot of some people that I know, they're like, why are you wasting your talent like that? Because I've had that being told to me to my face. And so it's kind of annoying after a while. Like, it starts piling up, like, how many times I've been told this before. But I'm at a point where I just want this as something to take a break from life. And this makes me happy, I guess. This is the sign of happiness. Whatever the hell this is. So even the camera's like disagreeing with me. It's like, no, what the hell are you talking about, lady? But yeah, I have a lot of fun trying to figure things out with whatever the hell's going on here. I know I have moments of cute things like this card art stuff. And so I think people disregard my art because I've been working so much harder on the card art than something like this, you know. But this takes out a lot more time for me, so I don't get as much done. That's why I've been doing them so much less. But that does not mean I will stop doing them, okay? It just means I want to have a bit more fun rather than just always poring over every single detail. But that does not mean I will not do these anymore. I still will do them, just not as frequent as before, because I don't do as much work if I just keep doing super detailed, super incredible, super intricate, detailed pieces or drawings or what have you. I don't have that kind of time anymore, and I accepted that. But because of that, maybe it seems like the quality of my work has downgraded, but I don't see it like that. Yeah, you tell yourself that, and I will, because it saves me so much trouble and stress, and I don't have people like clamoring onto me like, oh, I think you could do something. That's why I like being a nobody. I don't have people nagging me on what to do and what not to do. But every so often I do encounter such people. It's rare, but it happens. And then either I will comment to you back or I don't say anything to you. That's how, if you piss me off enough, I won't say anything, just to save all of us this trouble. If you're pestering me to do things and it's like, what am I getting out of this? And then I don't know. But that hasn't happened yet, but I want to keep it that way. Okay. Okie dokie. So this general outline is pretty good. Now, oh gosh, the other stuff underneath here, a bunch of muscles and tissues and popping out. And I don't know the terms for all of these. I rarely ever do this stuff this detailed, but I just figured, why not? Let's see how far I can go. That's my mindset. I'm like, let's see what happens. That's what I do. Okay. I don't like, well, I gotta figure out the measurements and the intricacies and this and that. I just eyeball it. That's all I do. I just eyeball shit and see what happens. And if it turns out right, okay, let's keep going. But if it turns out wrong, I can erase it. It depends on the stage or what I can fix. And then if it works out, okay. If not, I gotta do something else, or I can walk away and see if I can come back and look at it again with, after taking a break. Sometimes if you stick to it too long and you're not paying attention, you miss out a lot of details. I think that kind of advice is pretty solid, to just take a step back and come back after a break, see what happens from there. Okay, this is not correct. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so let me see what I got so far. Okay. Get out of there. And y'all left. Okay, so hey, not bad at all. Okay, so it's not all of it's there, but I do have the general-ish outlines. So now I got to figure out the details, especially here. There was a lot more details here, a lot of details here, some here. Yeah, okay, so, but the progress itself is quite good, in my opinion. Okay. Sometimes making something out of nothing sounds like a lot of fun until you're like, I don't know what to make with it. So you get a reference. It's fine. Okay, so let me try to figure out how to fill this stuff out, because I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, I mentioned this before, and that's kind of true. Most of the time, when I'm drawing, I don't know what I'm doing. And I think some people do not like that kind of response. I think they assume because you're an artist, you know all the intricacies and how to piece together to make one whole quality piece of art. And that's not the case with me. Okay. I just look at it, go, oh, I like that. Let's see if I can draw it. And then that's what I do. That's all I do. And then if you're trying to, like, how do you do this? How do you make this? I don't know. That's my casual, I know you well sort of response. I don't know. But if I didn't know you that well and I didn't want to sound like I'm dumb, which is probably what people would assume, saying that with that kind of response of I don't know. I still don't know. I just look at it and eyeball it and just hope for the best and see what makes the most sense. Okay, so there is a slightly more tweaked version of I don't know, but it doesn't make it any less. It doesn't make as much sense as the prior one. This one just has a bit more words, but I just it's not so much horror movies that I like, because some of them have really stupid stories and really cliche lessons about purity and blah, and I'm like, oh my god, really? And you still talk about that stuff? And then I feel like nowadays with a lot of horror movies, they just have a lot of jump scares, and they just try to recreate that feeling from the 70s and 80s of, you know, like teenagers doing bad things, and they get their comeuppance with the villain, the monster, the unknown force that is evil and takes over and all this stuff. And I'm like, but nowadays it's not like that, especially nowadays with the dating scene where things happen and it's a lot more casual than what it was several decades ago. And yet I think that's also why to some degree it doesn't work in movies today, because it's like the times are different now. It doesn't work out that way. You got to do something that adjusts. But even now, it makes it a lot less scary, especially with social media. But there are some social media stories, especially like on Reddit. Like they had some pretty good stories. And some of them are supposedly, let's say they're supposedly real. I cannot guarantee they're real. But some of them, they're kind of spooky, I admit. Or the ones that like involve people that, I don't know if you guys ever heard of this called like Craigslist. Do people still use Craigslist? But they have this section called Missed Connections. I heard about this initially like maybe several years ago on YouTube, and then they were talking about how it's like this thing where people would encounter a total stranger, like they saw at the grocery store or at a book club, or recently I saw like they served papers to the lady that they're getting a divorce, and then they said, oh, I noticed you had a cute smile when I was serving you divorce papers. I hope you noticed me. Like, what the fuck? Like, what? And I'm pretty sure a good chunk of these people who are the receiving end of these misconnections, they don't even know this kind of feature exists on even the Craigslist, or even know that Craigslist is still working. So I just find it so odd, so weird, and yet really spooky. Like you wouldn't know these kinds of people would write such things. Like I don't know if anyone wrote such things about me. Probably not. I'd be like, ugh, I saw this schmuck talking on the upper floor, and I didn't see her. I heard her, but she had a nice voice. I hope I can hear you. Like, ugh, no. That freaks me out. So yeah, I think with horror movies, there are some that were pretty good that involved the internet, but I don't remember them well enough to have it have much of an impact with my memory. But yeah, I feel like as though things that are scary, it's kind of hard because everything's been done in mainstream media, but there are some things out there, especially in other countries, that are a lot more terrifying and cannot be explained. I have stories, but I'd rather not talk about them. So anyway, yeah, something about how people have character designs for the monsters or creatures, especially in video games. They're quite creative, quite interesting, terrifying and disgusting as all hell, but you cannot, well, for me, I cannot stop looking at them. And yet, I feel as though they should be a lot. I need to get those character design books that they have for certain games. They look so much fun to just look over and see what they do and how they made them and what was the creative Yeah, that's where I kind of geek out on such things. Like, where did all this come from? You know, like, where were you thinking about this while you're on the toilet, while you're in the shower, while you're buying groceries in aisle 6? Like, how do you come up with this? That's so unfathomable for me. But it's so cool. I'm like, so this is turning out pretty good. So I will not, of course, within the hour, I cannot finish all of this, unfortunately. But I try to finish what I can within the hour. And I also was going to show a little bit of the cards, what I was doing so far, the works in progress. I did finish 2 yesterday, but I only did reels on my account. But I will not post all of them on here just because I think they're just okay. But I think the really good ones, something like this, I wouldn't mind sharing. So yeah. I'll try to consolidate like all the stuff that I usually put on reels, and then some stuff like, oh, this is actually not so bad. I like it a lot more than I thought I would. I would put it on here. I guess that makes sense. Okay, so this has like a thing in the center. Okay, so and it starts fading here. And there's a lot of, oh gosh, okay, I don't have to be super technical, so I don't have to worry too much, but I think I made this side here too fat. And this side, okay. So sometimes I do several things all at the same time, and that's probably not a good thing, but it helps because I forget what I'm supposed to be doing, so I do several things at the same time. And this also applies to drawing and my everyday tasks. The good thing is I get several things done at once. The bad thing is sometimes I forget other things I'm supposed to be doing, and that's kind of annoying, but for the most part, I get most of the things done with this method of getting things done. Okay, so there's stuff. Oh, there's some things here. Oh, I did see some Hawaiian dances at the Ala Moana Mall, but they were kind of more modern-ish dances. They didn't have like the traditional clothing, like the leaves and the flowers and stuff, but they still sang in their language, and they had like a separate, like first they had the guys and then the women. So I was glad I managed to catch those. I miss watching those. I used to watch them when my older brother used to perform, and he'd invite us to his shows. And then I didn't watch him for a while because I moved out, but I came back. But I think they're not. He just does his own thing at this point. I'm not sure. But then, yeah, I like watching them. I'm more partial to guys only because my oldest brother does Hawaiian dances. There's a fruit fly over there, and so it was very nostalgic. But then when the women go on, usually they have faster. They also have fast songs, but then for some reason they picked one in particular that was quite slow, and I was already getting sleepy, and it's like, oh, but it's not like I'm bored sleepy. It's just, it's a really slow, soothing song, and I get sleepy with such music. I don't want to be sleeping in the hall. That's kind of ill. So yeah, I try my best not to do that. And so, okay, we gotta go. We gotta get out of here. We had our ice cream. Let's go. So yeah. I wish we saw more, but my family's not that interested in Hawaiian, or not Hawaiian, but like dancing in general. But I like them still. They look fun. It's just yeah, I don't have enough time to do that stuff on my own time. I'm always doing stuff or I'm tired. Okay, so I don't think I have enough time to do all this. So I have to do the fine details. I just need to get things, even some shading is fine, but I can't do the super detailed lines all at once. It's not enough time. I have 54. I'll do one more minute, and then I will do the card preview. Oh, I did look online on YouTube once in a while to see any update. I also did post a reaction shorts of one of the videos again. I also want to do that just because it's good to react sometimes, but I also try not to. Oh, I'm also trying to experiment on talking a bit less, but also I should say something. I feel bad when I'm just staring at the screen and not saying anything. So I try to trying to determine a balance with that. And then I also noticed there are some women also commenting, but I'm not sure if they're women or they're men with women icons on their profile pictures. I don't know, but I noticed that. I that's all I can say. And then, and then the comments are still the same. I'm not surprised. I'm at this point where okay, yeah, I get it. Propaganda, woo, okay. And then I just carry on. That's all I can say. What else? I will try to do some other movies, but if you want to know what they are, too bad, because I like to use the elements of surprise in my favor. That tends to work a lot for me, but if I just say everything of my plans, I feel like as though it kind of just spoils a surprise and people are not as interested, because it's really hard to surprise people in this day and age. I need to do this. Okay, so, this one. Okay, I think that's about it. I can only do this much. That's a shame. Okay, so, all right. So in less than an hour, I managed to get this much done. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Okay, so yeah, I actually like this. I am so happy that this is the first thing you see from the Sanrio book. It's like, oh, cute little critters, and I wonder what's on here. I don't know, that sort of thing kind of cracks me up. But still, I am happy with the results. It's not super accurate, but I am glad it's not 100% the same as the original reference, and that's fine. Like from Sanrio to Blue. So maybe I can make this as like a creature sort of horror sort of book, and the irony of this. But yeah, fun times. So, okay, it's about almost an hour, so I need to wrap things up. So I did do some cards. I have 2 that I completed, but I did not leave them out here. I don't think they're worthy enough to be on here. Maybe the super funny ones or the really detailed ones or ones I actually really like, I'll throw them on here. I will not always put all of my card art here. I thought I can do that earlier on, but then I changed my mind. So yeah, so here's one of the things I did on the plane. I drew this while people around me were sleeping and I can't sleep, so I would try to do this as much as I can. I can only do pencils and ink. I don't have colors on me, and I only have like 2 or 3 color pens, and I guess you could do a 3-color challenge, but I was not in the mood for that. Plus, I was lacking sleep that time on the plane. So yeah, I think I would like to do something like this, something similar, but not totally the same. I do like the concept of 2 heads just merging or trying to split open, but they totally cannot. I just find that really cool. And again, I found this on Pinterest, another 3D rendering of these 2 guys not having the best day ever. And yes, and then this one, a total complete opposite of these cute critters. This was based off Sumiko Gurashi from San X, but I replaced them with Sanrio characters with Dashiki Buddha, Tuxedo Sam, Hankyo-dan, Spotty Dotty, and Monkichi. But I had to include a little homage to the tapioca from Sumiko Gurashi, and this was like their old watermelon series that I've been meaning to get, but I never got around to it. But I'm kind of glad. I didn't really like the color scheme, so I can customize and change the colors of this. So I'm looking forward to doing that. Basic Stitch, but there was like a color scheme I saw on like shopdisney.com, and I like the colors, so I might try to do that version here. I don't know yet. And then this was from a dog from Instagram. I just find this dog so cute. but it has the weirdest face where it has like human eyes. Like it has like a build in the brows and the eyes in particular that has a bit of a human quality to it. And this one you can't tell because she's sleeping, and I think her name is Mutu, and she's really cute. I liked her a lot. And I have an idea to turn the pillows into marshmallows. I am thinking about it, but very cute. And then this is that red bird that goes wait from what was it? Gumi, I think the bird's name is. And I did one a while ago with like a two-sided sign board thing, but now I have this guy as a card. Very cute. This is probably the ugliest of my card sketches, and it's supposed to be like palm trees, but I think the sky was pink and the palm trees were like aqua, like a pastel aqua. I like the color scheme, so I will try to work with something, but I don't need all of the super details. I just need the general outline. And this is what I mean. I don't have to be super perfect, but once this starts coming together, it'll look good, probably. This was some sort of coloring book cover I saw. I thought this angle was pretty neat to try. This is from Ellis on Webtoons. I think this is what's his name? I forgot his name. He's the main I don't know if he's a superhero, but he has like electric powers and he's super powerful, and he's in a body of a fat cat. I forgot his name for the death of me. I forgot his name. I'm sorry. I was reading the comic like 2 weeks ago, and then I forgot his name. I'm so stupid. I think they called him Cassine Nitrate or some other, I don't know. And this is one of the old dogs in my family that they had. He is a Shar-Pei. I'm pretty sure he's mixed because he doesn't look like a typical Shar-Pei, but that's his big old nose and muzzle. Very cute. Basic fish that I saw on a live stream thumbnail on YouTube. There are some bright, vibrant colors that I want to work on. It's just fish, but there were some bright, brilliant colors that I had to try doing on this, but we'll see if it'll actually work out. And then the ones that I actually started and not done yet. Well, here's Mario. He had a flat butt. I tried to add extra booty, but it didn't work out, and his head looks kind of small. So I don't know what's going on here. I think this is my actual first time or second time. I don't remember drawing Mario. I don't like it, but this can be a future reference. Like, oh, maybe I should try drawing him for once. Because I know everyone, their grandmama has drawn Mario for such a long time. But for me, let's see what happens. Okay, every so often, let's try a mainstream character. It's okay to do that, you know. And then this is a Sanrio character that I heard about a while ago, and then I forgot. Then someone brought them up again. This is not the correct green color, but I'm like, whatever, I'm tired. I think the name is called Big Challenges. And it was a super basic looking sketch of a crocodile, and it was so bad. It's like, why did you even make that? Who were you on something when you came up with this? But I tried to tweak this poor guy. It wasn't his fault to be made the way he was, so I tried to give a little bit more effort, and I think he's still kind of cute, a little bit rough, but still cute. Way better than the original design, all right. And yes, this is actually a Sanrio character, so yeah, maybe I could add extra clothes. He seems quite naked right now. Okay, so yeah, I did a bunch of things, and that was good. And I'm glad that I managed to do a sketch drawing for once that isn't related to I still haven't finished that drawing. Maybe I should just do it off camera, because that King Tut drawing that I did a while ago, I haven't finished it. I try to continue when I'm live to show that I am not erasing. Ew, there's stuff on the bottom. Yeah, this guy, remember this? I haven't completed, so maybe I could do it off camera, maybe, but then how would you know that I'm not using the eraser? That's the other thing. Maybe sometime this Wednesday or next week, I may resume this. I don't know yet, but I need to finish this, but it's still looking good so far. So yeah, it goes to show I don't always do cute things. There's always the element of creepy and the macabre, but there's so much fun to do. What's wrong with that? So I think that'll be it for now. I would like to do more, but there's some crap on my table, and I need to clean up and have some snacks. And by snacks, I mean boring old fruit because I'm old. Thank you for having me. Also, I forgot to mention, thank you for 36K. I seriously appreciate it. I will do my best to do more war art, but I just need to figure things out that I actually will like and keep doing. What is, ew. Whose hair was that? Oh, anyway. Who the hell did that? I'm gonna go now. I will do more arts, and I will have a snack. So thank you again for 36K, and I'll see you again whenever I feel like it. Just kidding. This coming Wednesday, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I will try to be up this time. Okay, bye-bye.